Announcing that he would send proposals on reducing gun violence in America to Congress, President Obama this week mentioned a number of sensible gun control measures. But he also paid homage to the Washington conventional wisdom about the many and varied causes of this calamity, from mental health issues to school safety. His spokesman, Jay Carney, had said earlier that this is a complex problem that will require a complex solution. Gun control, Carney added, is far from the only answer. Let me respectfully disagree. The problem is not complex, and the solution is blindingly obvious. There are three sets of causes that people point to when talking about events like the one in Newtown. First, the psychology of the killer. Second, the environment of violence in our popular culture. And third, the easy access to guns. Each of these might explain any single event, but what we should be trying to understand is not one single event, but why we have so many of them. Let's look at the facts. According to the UN's Office on Drugs and Crime, the US gun homicide rate is 30 times that of France or Australia. It is 12 times higher than the average for other developed countries. Why is that? If psychology is the main cause, we should see that we have 12 times as many psychologically disturbed people as the OECD average. We don't. In fact, America takes mental disorders seriously, treats them, and doesn't stigmatize them. We do better in this area than most of our peers. Is America's popular culture much worse than other rich countries? Not really, since it's largely the same popular culture worldwide. England and Wales, for example, are exposed to virtually identical cultural influences as the US. Yet, the rate of gun homicide is some 3% of ours. The Japanese are at the cutting edge of the world of video games. Yet the UN puts their gun homicide rate at close to zero. Why? Well, they have one of the most restrictive series of gun laws in the world. When looking internationally, it is obvious that the one feature of America that would explain why we have so much more gun violence than the rest of the world is that we have incredibly permissive laws allowing the sale and possession of guns. With 5% of the world's population, we have 50% of the world's guns. We also have evidence that tightening laws, even in highly individualistic countries with traditions of gun ownership, can and does reduce gun violence. In Australia, after a 1996 ban on all automatic and semi-automatic weapons, a real ban, not like the one we did in 1994, which had 600 plus exemptions. After that ban, gun-related homicides dropped by 59% over the next decade. All the evidence points in the same direction. There will always be evil or disturbed people, and they might be influenced by some element of violent popular culture. But how is the government going to identify the darkest thoughts in people's minds before they do anything? What government can do, easily however, is make it much harder for these people to have access to guns. A few hours before the Newtown murders, a man entered a school in the Henan province in China. Obviously mentally disturbed, he tried to kill as many children as he could. But all he had access to was a knife. The result, despite many injured, not one child died. The problems that produced the Newtown massacre are not complex, nor are the solutions. We do not lack for answers. What we lack in America today is courage. For more on this, take a look at my Washington Post column. You'll find it on cnn.com/Fareed. Let's get started.